Alrighty, guys, we are doing something a little bit different today. So, have any of you out there heard of Dragon Ball Multiverse? This is before Dragon Ball Super was ever even a thought. This goes back to, I think, when I was in high school, this thing was started. It is an online comic strip created by Gogeta Jr. and several other very talented artists and storytellers. I mean, I don't remember a lot of it because I haven't read it in so long. I didn't know it was still going until I happened to read a little blurb about, Dragon Ball Multiverse. Something has happened and it's like the most controversial or surprising something or whatever. And I was like, oh, wow. I remember, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of like the Tournament of Power in Super. And I don't know if Toriyama got the idea from this or what, but it's different universes, but it's like the same universe. So like there's our main universe with Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, blah 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 blah. And then another universe in this tournament, in this multiversal tournament, would have an instance where Vegito defeated Majin Buu and never unfused. So it would be Vegito and Pan, and I think that's the two core members because I think Vegito trains Pan in this, and she actually becomes a Super Saiyan, I think. So it's different variations on like if Frieza ruled the entire universe and defeated the Saiyans, him and his father and his brother, Dojori Zarbon, the Ginyu Force, all that. And I just remember it being really cool. I didn't know that they had started a YouTube channel and have started, I don't necessarily know if it's animating it, but it's telling the story but in color and semi-animated. And I wanted to go back, and it's super long. It's like 6 hours long. This is just the part one. And I'm going to break it down into just a few minute increments. And this is going to be our new format going forward for Tuesdays. Because we always had Dragon Ball Tuesdays. We would watch the abridged stuff. We'd watch Super. So now we're having Dragon Ball Multiverse Tuesdays. So let's get this refresher on. And I can't wait I've got this stupid grin on my face because I can't wait to see this and revisit all this. So let's do it.
Strange turn of events. We find Vegito battling Broly, but at the same time, Vegeta and Goku witness the fight first.
Yeah, it shows you where it's at currently, but I think then it rewinds to where they were picking on. I think they're like bird people outside of space and time. You know what? Shut up, Brad.
Dan.
Doesn't matter how much you remember. You're watching it now.
Makes his way through the arena. Gohan shots for Piccolo to get behind he and his father. Damn!
There's one where like all the Namekians fused into one Super Warrior.
Spectators pick themselves from the ground.
Like a Jiren type.
The ones that are still able to. Even Super Buu gazes in astonishment. But how could such a scenario be, you may wonder? In order to explain, we'll have to look back in time.
Yeah, okay.
Peering through the endlessness of outer space, we come across a unique ship.
Parallel universe number 5,098,487,900.
Other parallel universes, okay.
We have arrived. Deploying scanners.
A race of bird-like aliens detect something particular on the Earth. And jumping from universe to universe, they're quite familiar with our blue little planet. However, one does know this iteration seems different from the previous ones, resolving to land below, requesting his comrade get the shuttle prepared, questioning if the Namekians are ready to go. Moments later, Pogo wonders how a ship is able to land here, as any man-made machine should be repelled from the lookout by default. But Piccolo reassures him it's okay, as he senses Namekians on board, who are always welcome here. Though Dende's worries remain, not recognizing the ship as one of his peoples. individuals are. Bluntly, one mentions they are Namekians of another universe, venturing into this realm with the help of the Vargas technology.
Vargas, that's...
Referring to the race of the Traveler to his side, we learn there isn't just one universe, but many, each of them following its own path. While the majority of universes offer only the same choices and decisions, a select few differ slightly, as the smallest change of a single event can send fate spiraling in an alternate direction. These alterations can be as vast as the sky changing to a different color, or an alternative species conquering the planet. Another being in one of the countless universes, and only one, the Vargas discovered how to jump realms out of sheer luck and chance. However, the Kais decided no one should have this kind of power, but permitted one special event to take place in celebration of the mortal's milestone, soon making friends with the Namekian people in order to design an enormous tournament between the great fighters of all the multiverse. The winner claiming 3 wishes from the Dragon of Namek and the Dragon of other universes will be used to resurrect anyone who should fall in battle. Aside from the prize itself, needless to say, warriors tend to appreciate a challenge like this, advocating what a unique opportunity it would be with no risk. But ultimately, the choice is theirs if they should enter or not. While Piccolo has his reservations and suspicions, he knows there'll be no talking Goku out of such an occasion. And optimistically, one of the visitors offers to alert the fighters of Earth. And less than an hour later, they all find themselves at the lookout. Indeed excited for himself, Goku's first instinct is that Goku will finally get a real test for his power, with nothing to hold him back. Much like Piccolo, Vegeta also retains some heavy distrust, but refuses to let Goku attend without him. Making our way to Goten and Trunks, the pair have a question, asking if they'll be able to fight as a team, but are sternly told that will not be an option. The bouts are to be one-on-one. You lose if you're unable to fight for 30 seconds or give up, and weapons are allowed. Each participant must enter the ring alone, with no exterior aid. But seeing a way around these rules, the boys are just fine with this, figuring they can just register as Gotenks and tag along as spectators by themselves, telling the visitors the fighter is among them already, but simply can't be seen yet, which the aliens see no issue with. In fact, one fighter registered their child who isn't even born yet, so this Gotenks fellow can be created seconds before the battle for all they care, prompting Piccolo and Gohan to follow as only spectators as well. Going on, one of the Namekians mentions the gang is the 18th group to enter, which will act as their universe number for convenience, requesting all who wish to take part or simply watch from afar, enter the shuttle now. Without wasting a moment, Vegeta scurries off, followed by the others seconds later, while those who decide to stay on Earth worry for the Sea Fighter's safety. The same Namekian reminds that there's nothing bad that will happen that can't be fixed by the Dragon Balls, and besides, there's no reason for anything bad to happen anyway. On the ship, the aliens get ready to take off.
The shuttle is back. Open the airlock.
Boarding the mothership, Oob and Pan marvel at the technology and vast size, while Goku questions how long this trip is expected to take. And since they'll be warping, it'll only be a mere seconds. Mentioning the tournament takes place in a universe completely void of life, so no harm will come to anybody.
The void? I mean,
Standards.
coincidences.
And with those words, the ship fades from this universe. Arriving on a barren, comatose world, housing an enormous stadium and several distinct spacecrafts, at least one of which we recognize. In the arena, the Vargas escort our heroes to where they'll be staying, alerting
No.
we recognize.
It's Frieza's ship. That looks like a TIE fighter. That's Paragus' ship that he came to Earth in to recruit Vegeta in the Broly movie. That's damn the Deep Space Nine. Can't remember the name of the ship.
In the arena, the Vargas escort our heroes to where they'll be staying, alerting that they're surely going to run into warriors they believe they know, but assures they're not the same iteration that they've already met. Getting acquainted with their bench area, Piccolo and Gohan look around to get a glimpse of the other competitors. When something catches his eye that causes his blood to run cold, muttering out to the others, it's Cell, who also seems familiar with the Z-Fighters. Piccolo deducing the villain must have succeeded in killing them where he comes from, which is one theory, but Goku points out that Universe 16 appears to be their doppelgangers, and they're stationed right next to him. Trunks hopping the barrier to get a closer look at the other teams, stopping dead in his tracks to find his father. Behind him is Nappa, Goku, likely called Kakarot, and Raditz.
Yeah.
From another group, Frieza. Trunks pointing out, it seems that a lot of monsters their fathers fought in the past are here, even what's wrong, but he claims it to be nothing. He becomes apparent. He spotted a group of primal-looking Saiyans from Universe 10. Their leader, resembling Vegeta himself. Gohan spotting him too, believing that certainly they've come from a world with no Frieza, and more than likely, they haven't discovered the Super Saiyan transformation yet. Simultaneously, Piccolo senses a cornucopia of Namekians, Nail being one of them. But the boys, with their heads in the clouds, want to talk to the Primal Saiyans. Trunks thinking his grandfather must be among them, choosing to go find out. Goten wanting to see his as well, running off without really thinking of the consequences. Gohan can only wish him luck. Away, Frieza and Cold brood over having to face those flea-infested monkeys and the Saiyans once more. Cold pointing out, it seems he and his sons must be missing from several realms, vowing to eliminate every last one of these pieces of scum around them. And given they have found Namekians that grant wishes instead of wishing death upon themselves, it's time to claim all the universes for the rightful owners. Calling out for the king, Trunks requests to speak to the leader of the Saiyans. Though bearded Vegeta, surely like regular Vegeta, is insulted someone would dare speak to him so casually, only adding fuel to the fire. Trunks quips, "Not you, stupid, I mean your father." Goten requesting the one called Kakarot at the same time, but the Saiyan has never heard of him before. When Bardock chimes in, admitting he had a son with that name, but he's dead now. The kid instantly recognizes this man for who he is. While Bizarro Vegeta continues to lose his head, searching for him to calm down, Trunks explains that this old-timer is merely the prince where he comes from, ridding himself of the discussion. Vegeta points behind him, singling out that man is the previous King Vegeta. Back with the others, Gohan questions Goku if he'd like to meet his father, but as we're aware, our hero doesn't really have much interest in knowing him. When Piccolo decides to approach a group of his own, soaring over the Primal Saiyans in the process, landing between the two universes, he greets Nail, offering the advice not to take the Saiyans lightly, as where he comes from, they've slaughtered entire planets, though Nail assures him to worry not, as these Saiyans don't seem to have the technology to travel through space, leaving Piccolo a bit confused, questioning if there's someone called Frieza in their universe, which seems to only be a footnote on these Namekians' history. While the name came up during their evacuation of Namek to avoid a cataclysm, it said one that went by Kaioshin vanquished the individual named Frieza. Pointing in the other direction, Nail motions to exactly who it was. As we see Universe 1 consists of all the Kais that face off against Boo in our universe. While the conversation between the boys and King Vegeta winds down, it's revealed that Goten and Trunks are merely half Saiyans. Much to the disgust of the king that any iteration of his son would shame his people in such a way. But ever confident, he tells his alternate father that together, they could easily wipe the floor with every last one of his soldiers. Meanwhile, Piccolo notices the lack of their kind in other realms, and Nail believes that's because the Namekians don't differ much from reality to reality. But in Universe 7, there does seem to be a vast variation. In order to stop the aforementioned tyrant known as Frieza, every last Namekian fused into one, winning the battle with ease before traveling the universe, eventually destroying a bug-like lizard monster and a pink demon that also threatened the universe, all of which are attending the tournament. Nail believes he's the shoo-in to claim victory in this contest. Heading back to their own space, Goten spots the challengers of Universe 19, which turn out to be some new faces. Greeting them, they don't seem all bad, or at least they were willing to return the greeting, when Pan shouts for everyone to look, peering over at the 20th universe. It seems its sole contestant is frozen in a block of ice. While the gang wonders exactly what's going on with them, Piccolo zeroes in. Realizing it's the original Broly, one of the Vargas explains that they found him frozen in the void of space. If he's alive when his match is up, he'll indeed participate. The Namekian pointing out what a terrible idea this is. Even Goku's concerns swell, wondering how they could bring such a mindless monster. Gohan pointing out, the Vargas have brought plenty of monsters here, to the humor himself. And looking around, that's completely right. Frieza and his family, the Ginyu Force, Babidi, Boo, Deborah, Bojack and his gang, and even the evil incarnations of 17 and 18. But Goku remains undeterred. After all, the heroes of Earth should be light years past these villains by now. Oob astonished, it seems his master knows all the other fighters. Cutting him off, an announcement comes over the PA, declaring all the challengers have arrived. Having randomly selected the matches, the tournament is soon to begin, getting Goku pumped. The first fight will be Nappa of Universe 13 versus Cargo from Universe 10.
Mega fight, begin!
You know, I've killed lots of your kind in my universe. That's none of my concern. The Z-Fighters, giving their 2 cents on the battle, noting this Nappa is leagues above the one they fought, but it's also apparent he's very old. With little effort, the Saiyan claims victory. Next up is Frieza from Universe 8 and Jace, also from Universe 8, causing a bit
That's
of a panic
right.
for Jace. Confused?
They can, okay.
Why two of the same universe would fight each other, but it seems the battles are 100% random. Getting a sinister grin from his ruler, he decides it would be best to forfeit. And with that, Goku, from our Universe 18, goes face to face against Masu of Universe 10, his family and friends cheering him on. But Vegeta notes this won't even be a good warm-up. Landing and spotting the tail, Goku asks if this man is a Saiyan. But scoffing, he refuses to speak with some renegade without a tail. Thinking, Goku knows it'd be best not to use his full strength. But on the other hand, it's not like he's human, so maybe just a little strength. And so happens, even a little strength was far too much. As Goku is announced the winner, the audience finding themselves in a state of shock, not following exactly what happened, and only feeling a pocket of air pass through them. Even the unknown warriors of other worlds are astonished by this, for Goku, pedestrian strength. The Cape Vegeta laughing that the lowlifes here are finally starting to understand how outmatched they are. After witnessing this, nearly the entirety of the Namekians decide to drop out, leaving Primal Vegeta to call them cowards. Rejoining his group, Cape Vegeta laughs that he met the pathetic version of the Saiyans, going on to claim he and his kind are the Super Saiyans, and future victors of this tournament, recognizing Goku as Kakarot, but aghast they've teamed up with a Namekian, assuming they had a strange time fighting Frieza on Namek itself. Piccolo pointing out to him their realities diverged long before Namek, questioning if their Kakarot was sent to Earth when he was a baby. Who, finally chiming in himself, admits he was, and killed all the humans that dwelt there. About 20 years later, the remaining Saiyans came to pick him up before venturing to Namek to claim the Dragon Balls. The gang deducing he most likely killed Kami, thus erasing Shenron. Their Vegeta explaining that the few living Saiyans revolted against Frieza on Namek, and once he discovered the secret of the Super Saiyan, the battle was won. Inquiring how they survived. Our Vegeta, ironically enough, scoffing that they did it better, before chuckling that he killed Nappa back on Earth. Trunks jumping in to change the subject, insisting these Primal Saiyans will surely be disappointed once the real fights begin. But Cape Vegeta is only focused on the moment Frieza gets to die once more. Gohan admitting that would be a sight for a lot of people here, mentioning in his universe, Frieza killed Vegeta, going on to talk about how he also killed Krillin and almost Piccolo, but now the latter could crush him like it was nothing. Kakarot questioning if Krillin was a bald dwarf and Piccolo a Namekian, revealing it may come as a shock, but he killed both of them. The brothers looking at each other before staring down the evil Saiyan, smirking that what's really a shock is he's their father. In a nearby room, one of the Vargas sits with a concerned look on his face, stating Universe 10 had more competitors than anyone, and all but one Namekian just gave up. His comrade pressing even more will throw in the towel once more intense battles take place. But bearing no other choice, they need to charge forward with the tournament. Announcing up next, number 17 from Universe 14 against Ickle from Universe 16. But it seems the contestant isn't ready, literally, as this is the fighter previously mentioned to not be born yet, but unwilling to give any more time. 17 is declared the winner by forfeit. Back in the booth, we see this is actually a personal quarrel between one of the Vargas and the carrier of the fighter, as she was a real jerk earlier. Regardless, instead, it's South Kaioshin of Universe 1 against Birder from Universe 8, who regularly boasts that he's the fastest
Strength
man in the
versus
universe.
speed.
But maybe just his universe. Moving on easily enough, we then have Majin Buu of the 11th and Bujin from the 6th. Without really even giving the signal to begin, Buu attacks. So Bujin decides to use his power of illusion, briefly mystifying the Majin. When he laughs, he can do magic too. Turning the clocks into ice cream, donuts, and candy. Once again showing little match. The space pirate resolves to use his energy bonds at max power. The fish line-like attack cutting through his foe, but this only serves to bore the Majin. Once again, showing an easy victory to the audience. Though Bojack only appears mildly frustrated, Bobbity commends his bubbly block. Then, we find future Trunks is here as well, Gohan asking if he's the same that came to help him. Turns out, that's correct. The exact same. Gohan chuckling, but this time around, he's the elder, as only 10 years have passed for Trunks since the defeat of Cell. Introducing him to someone, looks like he found Android 16 in the ruins of Jiro's lab in Bulma.
Oh, yeah.
The android has been a big help in rebuilding.
It's been forever
his
since
world.
I've
He
read
landed to
this.
see his old friend as Trunks informs him he was a big part in pushing Gohan to transform. The robot telling Gohan their kindred spirits and their protective nature. When asking if he plans to compete, 16 grows cold. Let her read indeed, as there are several Son Gokus here, and he'd like to kill one of them. With a nervous chortle, Gohan wishes him luck and returns to his wife, elaborating on the history of Trunks and the fight against Cell. But she's confused, insisting they both spoke with him about an hour ago. Turns out, Gohan got the wrong Videl, apologizing for the accident. The correct Videl pokes her head over the barrier, asking what's going on. Goten also taking special interest in their doppelgangers. As they speak amongst each other, they can't help but wonder why they would summon two identical teams. When the alternate pan spots Goku, running up and embracing her grandfather, proclaiming, at last she finally gets to meet him. Goku just finding the idea of two pans adorable, but then thinks this must mean he's dead in her universe. Emerging from the shadows,
There he
it
is.
seems their two realities diverged the moment he appeared. Vegito. And remember, prior to Dragon Ball Super, Power Fusion was believed to be permanent.
That's right.
The Fusion Warrior quickly deduces, unlike himself, Goku and Vegeta must have found a way to trap Buu inside this void, referring to Buu. Trying to explain, Goku is interrupted by the PA, calling upon Tidar from Universe 19, and Buu himself from 18. With Universe 19 having their own iteration of the Scouter, Tidar's ally warns his foe is immensely powerful, and he needs to go all out from the beginning. Squaring off, Buu can't wait to show his mentor everything he's learned, but his challenger doesn't intend to be a pushover. Unleashing immense mechanical weaponry. Naturally, even Goku as a child can handle conventional artillery, but Buu does notice his armor seemed insanely heavy. Seeing the projectiles are in fact homing missiles, he effortlessly does away with them. The only danger would be the chemicals the blast seemed to have released.
Ah.
Slicing the tiny planet the two stand on. The stranger appears rather sure of himself. Buu, on the other hand, explaining his blade uses nanotechnology to allow it to cut through anything.
It's Tony Stark.
Buu decides not to take any chances. One-shotting Tidar into oblivion. Frantically asking if his team can fix his arm. Vegeta scoffs said he got careless. But of course, Scoop doesn't feel this is the time for such lessons. And with no sense of beans, unfortunately, we won't get to see if that would help. Pan suggests he request aid from an Namekian, while a member of Tidar's team angrily tries to seek revenge. Trunks reminding him, everyone will be wished back in the end. Cutting in, Bobbity offers to heal Buu, good as new, but it won't be free. But not even the loss of an arm quells Zoom's hatred for the wizard. Disgusted his powers came from such a despicable creature. But then, someone puts him back together. Bobity's scolding his Majin for healing him, but he's got the wrong guy, as it was Super Buu with the assist, assuring he only did it to spite Bobbity. Or maybe because Oob has a little bit of Buu in himself, or even that all present company continues to exist inside Super Buu himself.
Yeah.
Goku inquiring if that means him too, which naturally it does. Going on to tell, everything existing that contains at least a little bit of power now resides within him. As one of the Vargas restores the ring, we prepare for Nail of Universe 10 versus Raccoon from Universe 8.
Right. Ah.